And now it's like over 200 cities throughout the world do a Christmas concert called Tuba Christmas. And Harvey also was one of those guys that just had lots of ideas. He also started what he calls Octuba Fest. And we've had some of those in Nebraska, both in Lincoln and in Omaha throughout the years. So we're going to play next Silent Night, and we're going to dedicate this to the memory of Harvey Phillips. If you want to know more about him, there's a really great article that was in the New York Times after his passing, and it's called Harvey Phillips, a Titan of the Tuba. He was so influential in commissioning new works of the tuba, influential in starting Tuba Christmas and Tuba Fest, but also one of the really musical giants in our country. So this is dedicated to his memory, Silent Night. arrangements, or most of them, the arrangements that we're going to play in the first part of the concert, were all done by a really important American composer named Alec Wilder, who's a very good friend of Harvey Phillips. And Harvey called him one day, and he said, we're going to do a concert in a couple of weeks, Alec, and we need some arrangements of Christmas carols. And Mr. Wilder said, I'm sorry, Harvey, I haven't written any music in like 2 years, and I think I'm maybe done with doing that. So Alec had written all kinds of music for Harvey, a suite for a French horn, tuba, and piano, a sonata, another suite called the Epi Suite. It's a depiction of an elephant, I'm afraid to say. Because when I was a kid, I didn't want to play any music that was associated with the tuba and large mammals. It just didn't seem like a good thing. Anyway, so the next day, Alec Wilder called Harvey back and said, I have those arrangements for you. So he stayed up all night and did these arrangements, and they've kind of become a staple of our repertoire for tuba ensemble, which is a group of euphoniums, which are really tenor tubas, or they're exactly half the size of the tuba, and bass tubas, which you see in the back. Many different shapes and sizes. As a matter of fact, some of those you'll see in the back are also called sousaphones. Really, they're just a tuba with a different twist. A tuba that you can wear instead of one that you can carry out in front of you, which doesn't make very good parading. Anyway, going back to Alec Wilder. He used to show up every spring. Harvey would call him. I went to school in Bloomington, Indiana, and he would take the train to Bloomington. And Harvey would call him when the poplar trees were in bloom. I don't know why, but he wanted to see the poplar trees in bloom. And this gave us much fear and trepidation as tuba students, because you have to understand, he wrote this music for one of the great tuba players of all times. He wrote all kinds of different solos, and they were really hard. They were really difficult because Harvey could basically play anything. And our assignment, of course, as tuba students, was to give a concert of Alec Wilder music while he was on campus. So this, the music was really hard. The composer was in attendance, so he knew what it was supposed to sound like. So we really never looked forward to his visits very much for that reason. But he was very nice, and even some of our performances that didn't go very well, he always complimented us. And in fact, we really did, in the end, enjoy his visits. So he's also passed away. He was a really well-known composer for Frank Sinatra, who played and sang his songs. And he lived in Algonquin Hotel in New York and was well known there for leaving his hardcover books in the sofa so somebody else could pick them up and read them. That was his way of recycling. So he was quite an interesting fellow. So we're going to play, and now what's the next one? It Came Upon a Midnight Clear. I think I've wasted enough time, so let's save the